What's up? Welcome to TAROVERSE, and thank you for clicking on this video. I'm diving into this reading with the intention of simply just pulling what would be beneficial for you to hear right now. So whatever comes out will come out. I'll tell you exactly how I see it. This is a timeless reading, so whether you're watching this the first second it's released or 2 years after its release, it comes to you when it pertains to you. It hits you and you resonate with it when it pertains to you. Maybe you start watching it now, but you don't really resonate. Right? Maybe it just pops up for you then a month later. You click it again and all of a sudden everything makes sense. That's what I want for you. So make sure that this is resonating. If it's not, it's just not your time. But let's go ahead and take a deep breath and get ready for this reading. Feel free to comment below what country you're coming from, what place you're coming from, and what your zodiac sign is. Let us all know. So I wanted to start with the System Oracle deck, which I don't really use so much on the channel, but I love this guy. And I almost want to get an art piece from him for my studio. I have his calendar right now, but I want an actual framed one. But really strange messages always come out of this. Very weird. Whoops, that's my bad. And I just want to see what we pull as our first card to like get our feet wet into whatever energy's coming out, like a really like strange deck. And let's just go ahead and see what we get, you guys. This is for whomever in our collective that this is going to help and benefit. May this reading benefit whoever it's going out to. May this reading cause some kind of enlightenment, insight, or perhaps even awakening, right? So this reading is going to be about awakening. Of course, you know, everyone on YouTube talks about spiritual awakening this, spiritual awakening that. I feel like life is a spiritual awakening from the moment you're born, right? You're finding out the true essence of our nature. Of course, you have these pivotal moments in your life, but I mean, should we label these things? You know, I feel like it's just all one awakening. When you think about the root word awaken, literally, you know, we say that when we come out of the sleep state. Every morning we wake up. So it implies that essentially your awakening is you going from being asleep, eyes closed, to being awake, eyes open. There may be, and this may not be about everything in your life. All of a sudden you have this huge awakening, right? And sometimes you have to check if that's not just psychosis, to be honest, some people. But this is making me think that for you, or for the collective, however you want to put it, let's not make it so personal, right? For you. Now, there may be like it feels like divisions, like some aspects of your life, your eyes are very open, you're very knowledgeable, you understand, right? You have a high consciousness of many things, maybe even spiritual matters, but there's some things that remain difficult for you, that remain a mystery to you. This could be, for example, your love life. That's really big for people to not understand, even when they understand all other aspects pretty well. This could be about your career, finding your true calling, you know, finding something that makes you happy. There's something, right? There's one piece of the puzzle for you where I feel like you haven't had the awakening. You haven't opened your eyes to it yet. It's still shrouded in mystery or doubt or struggle. And I feel like that is what this card is pointing to. The fact that basically this is your initiation. Now is your time for this aspect of your life to become part of the conscious, part of the awoken aspects of your life. So it all becomes part of a bigger whole. I do want to read from the book just to see what he says about awakening, because I just respect this dude and I want to see what he's saying about it. Shift in consciousness, activation, true nature, liberation. The awakening card represents a profound shift in consciousness, a sudden realization of the true nature of reality. It invites you to open your eyes to the illusions and conditioning that have shaped your perception of the world and to awaken your authentic self. Highlight that word authentic for you. Awakening can be a disorienting and unsettling experience, as it often requires letting go of long-held beliefs and identities. However, it is also a liberating and celebratory process, allowing you to actualize living in alignment with your most profound truth. And in reverse, this might be, you know, highlighting struggles, spiritual slumber, oblivion, lack of growth, stagnation, disconnection from truth. Now, It requires often letting go of long-held beliefs and identities. And I want to talk a little bit about that because I think some people overlook what your identity, what that might mean in terms of shifting your consciousness somewhere. Your identity or your beliefs are what you tell yourself is possible about you. And people think that it's easy to recognize these things, but it's not necessarily, especially when these beliefs or identities are negative and they limit you. Your ego, which wants you to kind of stay and suffer, basically, parts of it, will actually keep you from recognizing that you have these beliefs or these systems in place that keep you held back. So you don't really think that they're there. If you think that you're a person who can't make a lot of money, or if you think you're a person who's going to struggle in love, if you view love as a struggle, if you view making money as a struggle, these are just examples. Those are just your belief systems. That's what those are. And because they're so ingrained within you, you're keeping yourself energetically at that level. And that's exactly what you're going to get. And how do you find out about these things? It's almost like you need to have like an interview with yourself. Like, hey, you, is love easy? You're going to say yes or no. Hey, you, does money flow easily to you? You're going to say yes or no. Of course, you have circumstances. And I'm not talking about the circumstances that you're in. Those can change, and they change as your energy changes. But really look at your answers and what kind of person you classify yourself as. Are you classifying yourself as a person who's always in pain, who's always going to struggle, who's always having these issues? Or do you believe in yourself? Do you classify yourself as a person you say, no, I can actually make a lot of money? Or no, I can actually find the perfect partner for me. Love is not a struggle. Making money is not a struggle. Start to understand where your belief systems are. Just bring them to consciousness. You don't have to believe anything different right now. It's just about being conscious of, in every aspect of your life, what your belief systems are, what your capabilities are. When you're conscious of it, then you know if they're limiting or not. But for everything in your life, you have a belief system. You have things that you're putting into place for you energetically. Shifting those belief systems is a huge part of shifting the parts of your life that you want to have this shift in consciousness in. Next, an archetype. The gem. I believe you're entering a period of your life where you're finding the value in something that was very hard to find the value in, within you. It's the diamond in the rough, which is making me think of Aladdin, that opening scene. But it's like, no, I still see these fragmented parts of your life where it was just in the dark, the limiting beliefs, not feeling abundance in that area. And now you're being challenged, which is hard, right? Even that reading mentioned how, like, when you change your belief systems, when you let go of these long-held things, that's difficult to do. It causes pain. It causes difficulty. That's also why you hang on to it. For whatever reason, hanging on to something negative, when you let go of it, for some reason, it's going to cause some kind of discomfort or pain, right? If it didn't, you would let go of it much quicker. And it feels like once you do let go of something, once you do shift this consciousness and you kind of go through it, you find the gem. How nice is that? It's pretty nice, if you ask me. Let's read about the gem. It's giving story time with TAROVERSE. Let me read you a story by the fireside about life. All right. The gem. The diamond, the gold, the inner treasure. There are infinite names for the gem. It's also known as the jewel, the star, the talent, the gift, the gold. One thing for certain is that it's found deep within a substance that is very much unlike it. For example, a diamond in the rough. The gem always stands in contrast to its surroundings. You can't find it when you're among comforts and pleasantries. Precious stones develop slowly deep in the earth amid pressure and darkness. Discovering the gem requires a descent beneath the surface where there is no definitive map, yet the longing to touch the true gem within us is so strong that we cannot help but seek out its radiance. So you're being called to this change, right? The people that are resonating with this, you're being called to this change. It's almost just like it's difficult to make it or do it, whatever this change is, this letting go. Where was I? Seek out its radiance. Your gem, like your destiny, is unlike any other in the entire world. Keep digging, it says. When light, the energy is unique, shining, generative, irreplaceable. When dark, it becomes envy, greed, or grasping. Go deeper, Legend of the Crystal Skulls as research, or Leonard Cohen's Diamond in the Mine, which is a song. The moments of your life that glimmer are clues to where the gem resides. Feel free to comment below moments of your life that glimmer. What popped into your head when I said that? Don't covet the sparkling diamond of another. The gem is like a fingerprint, never to be repeated again. Find yours. I feel like that's, even in the social media age, that's huge. We see something that we love or admire about another person. This also leads to really unhealthy obsessions and ego type stuff. But we see something in another and we want that. We want that exact thing, right? But that's a trap. You strive for that. It is like wanting to copy someone's fingerprint. You may have an essence of that within you, but yours is totally different. And it would be authentically expressed in a different way. And you have to find that within you. That's what the call is when you want something within another, or you feel that envy, or you see someone else's diamond. But you have to realize that yours will never look like that. It'll be different. And that's a liberating thing to understand, because it allows you to find your true expression, your true calling, your true nature, your true thing. It will never be someone else's. In mythology, the diamond is often linked to the daemon, or inner light. Daimon, Daimon, D-A-I-M-O-N, that leads us toward our true self, our purpose, our destiny. Some of you have had an experience lately, maybe even today, with an actual diamond or a ring or a gem. That's a synchronicity for some of you guys. Yeah. Now, these cards want to talk about love. Whether this is about a romantic relationship or self-love, these cards are saying, I want to talk about love. We're still working with oracles. This is not tarot yet. All right, very weird message. We have chaos, bliss, and disguise. Chaos is bliss in disguise. What do you make of that for love? So your love life is likely chaotic. Your feelings about another person might be very chaotic, very kind of bipolar, all over the place, kind of just crazy stuff. And you have to look at these extremities of emotions as a blessing in disguise. They're leading you towards what you want, but you have to understand what it's saying to you now. You have to understand what the chaos is trying to teach you. Again, I say this a lot on my channel, but I always assume that you're the first time watcher when you're watching me. And it's basically that negative emotions, even positive ones, but not so much, to be honest. Positive ones tell you the direction to go. Negative ones tell you about what needs changing or what you need to listen to. So in your love life, there's probably a lot of negative emotions coming up. And these want to talk to you. They want to be your teachers. They want to talk to you about yourself. They want to teach you about the things that you've buried or that you're not listening to or that you're not understanding about yourself. So you can use that opportunity and look at it as a blessing in disguise, whatever is going on there, right? Those emotions. A lot of people, they get all these emotions, right? Anger, sadness, whatever, in their love life. Rejection, sorrow, maybe they push someone away, and then they blame the other person. Well, I feel this way because of you. It's a little primitive. I feel like you feel this way because that's how you work, because that's all within you. Listen to why you feel that way and understand it. And when there is peace in your love life, that is a great achievement. You found a beautiful relationship with yourself, with another person, and you no longer need the teachers of all these crazy emotions, right? And then you're just benefiting, you're just having a beautiful relationship, you're just enjoying another person because you've, become so conscious of you and your energy and what you want out of love because you've learned, right? But if you play the blame game, which is literally saying they made me feel this way, you will never learn. And I mean, sure, don't get me wrong. Like you could have dated a fucking psycho who did horrible things and really just made you feel bad, right? Of course, they're at fault for some of the horrible, nasty things somebody does to you. I'm not saying that nobody's not at fault if they do terrible things, but the emotions that you go through and that you experience, just like the gem, are unique to you. Right? Nobody has the same exact experience. You have to understand why and what those are saying to you to learn, right? So you can either understand, master, and control your emotions, or, make something beneficial out of it. Because when you transmute that energy, which is what we're talking about, transmutation, your energy raises, right? And you get better things in that area of your life when you're raising your energy, raising your consciousness. We have triggered, earth, and struggle. So I think we're still talking about love here. Those of you that are resonating with this awakening, this gem thing, you've had a very difficult love life, like recently or whatever, but make sure that you're grounding yourself when you're upset as well. You can't listen to these teachers, these emotions, when they're causing you chaos. You have to be able to ground and to center and to really look, to introspect, to be objective. So make sure that, that you can get yourself into a meditative or a reflective state, because I do see that some of you are struggling, right? With some kind of emotion in your love life, or it may not be from a partner. It could just be stuff that you feel when love comes near you, right? Maybe you're not the one who's, been freaking out about someone. Maybe you freaked out because of a love that got really intense, or you came really close and you're scared of love because of stuff that happened in the past, right? There's a lot of different things that I feel could come up, but making sure that you're grounded so you could actually look at these emotions and listening to them is really, really, really important, I feel like. I want to pull an archetype card for this love energy of self-discovery and making it through it. The castle and the animal. I'm going to go with the castle. We'll keep the animal around as well. I'm kind of picking up that someone is very scared. This could be the person also that you're dealing with, but it feels like it might be an energy for you. Very scared of committing, very scared of getting into a very serious relationship. More on the spectrum of the avoidant than the anxious type of attachment, if we're going to talk about psychology. Some of you just don't want to open up, right? You don't want to be hurt again, or so you've had a history of pushing people away, stuff like that, keeping to yourself, but then this becomes very isolating as well. So let's read about the castle. The palace, the penthouse, the fortress. It's no wonder fairy tales tell of sleeping princesses within castle walls. Like most archetypes, the castle is loaded with duality. It represents abundant riches, seductive fantasy, ornate wonders, and lavish adornments, yet the walls are thick, cold, and shadowy. This card points to a tendency to hold on to possessions, quite possibly a literal home, or position that project the image of achievement while the soul longs to run barefoot in the forest, leaving it all behind. At times we must settle down, yet the castle lulls us with its spell of materialism and we fall asleep to our deepest dreams. The castle can be a motivating force, an enchanting goal to travel toward, but it is best not to linger within the walls of decadent deception for too long. Interesting here that it says, the soul longs to run barefoot in the forest and leave it all behind, yet you cling to the castle because of images, because of how it looks, which means you're going essentially against what your soul wants in this case or in this scenario, which means that you're not really able to connect to or listen to your heart, your soul, or your inner child. Instead, you're doing what you think you should be doing. So that would be where one thing within your consciousness would want to shift to be able to act upon what your soul really wants. How do you connect to that? Well, one way is to ground the earth, right? Connect to your true nature, your true essence. And that's beautiful that the animal came out as well, because, you know, I feel like our true essence and acting more on the impulse of that truth is more akin to how an animal acts. If an animal loves, it loves. If an animal hates, it hates, stuff like that. Humans complicate things and we dilute things, and in a lot of ways that's a good thing. If we stayed animals, we would not have evolved this far. But in our example, I feel like the animal is talking about acting on something that you may not be acting on, so I feel like it's kind of useful. And let's take a look at the animal and see what that says. The beast, the wild one, the she-wolf. We are mammals. The hair on our chest and between our legs reminds us so. We try hard to deny our unrefined, animalistic nature, yet through this archetype, we tap into power and direction. Activating the animal within means reawakening our relationship to nature in the most broad and embodied sense. Drinking from waterfalls, roaring at the moon, opening eyes underwater, eating berries from the vine. The life force of our planet begs us to set down the devices, the constraints, and the social constructs, and remember the warm blood that pulses through our veins. The animal longs for breath, food, procreation, and physicality. It wants soil under our nails and starlight on our skin. If this all sounds terribly unsophisticated to you, take a note that it is said that when Buddha became enlightened, he roared like a great lion. Cool, right? The animal and earth really being in touch with the flow of God, of all, of the universe. Really being in touch with what you truly want and desire deep down, outside of the conditioning of what your parents set up for you, what you think people around you want, or maybe what your mind is telling you versus your heart. Maybe your heart wants to be with someone or longs for you to take care of yourself, but the mind says to push away, or the mind says to cling, right? And you listen to the mind, not the heart, because you're scared to listen to your heart. Regardless of what side of that pole your heart wants, to act and to listen to your heart and your true desires is an act of vulnerability. And the castle keeps us from that vulnerability, but also isolates us. So, on that note, let's check out some tarot. All right. I feel this will eventually devolve into a love reading about what's on your person's mind. But I'll pull general stuff and then we'll go into that, and we'll take that into the extended as well. That'll be in the description box below. Okay, my friend. We're going to do a couple categories. So we're going to start by rewinding and going back to our first kind of message, which was the awakening and the gem. And then after I pull on that and see what other messages come in, we're going to go back to this love situation, which is about listening to yourself, although all these messages may be interconnected as well. You tell me. King of Wands. Shout out to my fire signs. Someone has a fire, like I feel like a Sagittarius rising or like a fire rising that's really coming into it. There's a relationship coming in, just so some of you guys know, very passionate, very fiery. Give it time, please. Be patient. All right, you do have a relationship coming in. This comes in when you find yourself, when you find the gem that you're looking for. When the gem comes out in certain areas of your life, I feel like when you feel super proud is when this fiery ass relationship comes in. I don't know why I see Sagittarius rising in my head so much. I don't know why that's relevant to even say, but I'm saying it. All right, so anyways, the gem and awakening, going back to just finding that key to shifting your consciousness where it needs to be shifted. Let's see what comes out from the tarot here. We may not get anything new from the tarot. It might just, show us pretty pictures, but let's see what comes out. Okay, so understand the difference between waiting and procrastinating, and it may be hard for you to understand, but I get the vibe that you are meant to be just taking your time in life right now. This is not a process you can rush. Some battery issues there, but you know what? Actually, I got some time to reflect a little bit, like slow down, and some insight came to me. So I feel like that was totally spirit doing that. But anyways, I feel like you've been stuck in this stasis state or this like hangman state in terms of making a decision or like trying to find yourself. And it comes through as kind of forced. Like you can't force an answer for things. Not when it's a creative matter. Not when it's a spiritual matter. Like you can't just force these things out. And I feel like that's what it got to the point of you trying to do this. The answer is simple. I don't want to convolute the message because it's not something to convolute. And it's basically just like you sit quietly and you listen to your heart. What does your heart really want? You just focus on what you feel would be best, what you really want out of the situation. Maybe neither choice or neither pathway sounds good. Then neither right now is the path to take. You know what I mean? Now that shouldn't sidetrack you from acting diligently, which is not procrastination. You still have to be tactful and do what you need to do. But you have to be able to, during this process, communicate with your heart. So to make sense of this, I feel like somebody's trying to find the right career path. It doesn't say don't work until you find what you want. It says start to work. Get your feet wet. Try different career paths. Eventually, your heart's going to tell you what is best, right? But don't freeze. Don't say, I can't do anything until I make a decision. If that's the case, just try different things. Same might be for your love life, or same might be for whatever endeavor you're trying to figure out. Try different things and open up that communication with your heart. Be still. Don't overthink it. And observe. Be observant. The answer may come to you in a dream. Or it may be about going with what you dream about doing and simply just striving to be your most fulfilled self by erasing the limiting beliefs that you have around what holds you back from pursuing what might be your dream career, your dream job, or your dream partner, your dream love life, your dream you. Let's see what comes out for love. The Lovers. Two of Pentacles, Four of Cups, Death. The Lovers in this case makes me feel, again, everything in your life seems to be coming down to making choices between things. You could have choices now or coming up between multiple people. This could be a choice between being single or getting with somebody. This could be a choice between finally letting go of a situation that's not working out or continuing to hang on to it. But there seems to be a choice here. And the Lovers, unlike, for example, Justice or something like that, the Lovers is about making the best choice for your soul, making the best choice for your heart. This entire reading is about listening to what you truly want and the difficulties that you may have connecting to what you truly want, connecting to that voice, and bringing all these things to consciousness. Again, when it comes to your love life, I'm getting the same kind of information. You're trying to make it very logical, or maybe not doing anything at all, right? It just feels like, I don't know, it just feels like something that is a matter of the heart and is a matter of feelings and should be a very genuine and easy thing to connect to. Act on what feels best. Don't let fear dictate what holds you back. Don't let fear dictate your actions. And be able to identify what is fear-based in your actions or behavior. Some people might say, oh, I'm not scared. But if you sit down and really look at it, you probably do have fears, and you're probably acting in accordance to those fears. Fear of rejection, fear of becoming close, fear of giving up independence, fear of somebody hurting you, etc., etc., etc. So this phase of difficulty is about connecting and understanding to these fears, bypassing that or working with that so you can actually listen to your heart and then acting on that, because acting on your heart or your true feelings has brought about fear in different areas of your life, and that's made you move back. It's fear. So that's why you get the scary card of death, right? It's about an end of that type of life where it's about fear controlling you and controlling things. In your extended, what I'm going to do is a love reading. I will pull for the energy of a person that you have in your mind, and I'll pull about what they're thinking and feeling towards you and your best advice. Those of you that have been watching the channel for a while, you understand how the love readings go. So if you resonate with this reading, you'll likely resonate with the love reading. I'll try to include a sample so you kind of know what's coming out. That'll jump right now, but if I forget, sorry. You can still access the reading in the description box below. Thank you so much for coming to this tarot card reading. I very, very, very hope it was helpful for whoever this was able to connect with. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. Consider a membership for things like the extended and all kinds of bonus goodies. It really all helps by subscribing and becoming a member, liking the video, commenting, or even just on an energetic level, just being able to benefit from what I tell you is also a big help as well. So do one of those things, and I'll see you next time. Take care. A couple energies from the zodiac. Now, it doesn't mean that your person has to be these energies or that you have to be these zodiac signs. It just means that these teachings of these zodiac signs are going to govern some aspects of the reading, much like an oracle deck. But it may also fall into place some kind of synchronicity that you happen to be one of these signs or they happen to be one of these signs. So energies from the zodiac for you for this love reading. Showing me the heart's a bit locked. Shut off. So it's hard for people to reach you actually in love, right? The energy is not really like, you're not really bringing in that energy. You have to open it up a little bit more. You've also got Leo in the house. So this is about being big, being bold, stepping out of your comfort zone, becoming magnetic, right? It's showing that you have that potential with the energy of Leo. Warmth, gratitude, stuff like that needs to be incorporated here. Let's do one more. Cancer. And Cancer, such a just deep, emotional, romantic sign, really listens to the heart, maybe gets a little bit consumed or overtaken by the heart, but I feel like Cancer understands what the emotions are. So that balance between Leo and Cancer is really beautiful. Showing that you could still be bold and be vulnerable and step outside of that comfort zone, get what you want, while also being able to listen to your heart and process the full spectrum of emotions, listening to the signs, stuff like that. For your person, energies around them right now. Cool. I knew it was going to be a ficus and Sagittarius. This is energy that's coming from that previous reading, I feel like. Again, I feel that your person has their eyes on you. There's definitely a fixation or a feeling like I'm not letting go. There's a feeling like I have this person in my sights, right? So again, I get a little bit like the social media aspect, watching you on social media, stuff like that. All right, just keeping up with you, wanting to know how you are, thinking about you. A ficus makes me feel like they're definitely going through deep healing right now and their own awakening. So you're both kind of opening up to different aspects here. So there could be a beautiful, I feel like, resonance between you two where you're both opening up to the hidden aspects of yourselves in your love life here and then healing that. And your relationship could very possibly be doing that to each other or being like one of the catalytic events for that. Sagittarius also makes me feel like this person is having issues reaching out, or very much like Leo, putting themselves out there. But for your energy as Leo, it's a big, more broad stroke of the sense. For them, this feels much more specific to sending you a message or saying something that they want to say about communication or something like that, taking you out on a date. I get very specific energies for your person with that. So from the tarot. Overall situation between you guys. We get the Four of Swords and the Knight of Cups. Knowing what to do is the first thing that comes to my mind. We get the Tethered One and the Six of Pentacles. All right. I'm picking up on a lot of inaction between you guys. I do feel that you kind of like think about each other and that you're like on each other's minds, but there's a